Hello all, it's James Johnson, aka Sulphur Blade, and I am here with Sims 4 and ranking all of the various DLC packs that come with the Sims 4 game inspired video. Now, I've already done one similar to this. However, at the time that I did it, I only owned about half of the content. And so there were some things I could not expand upon, some things I guessed but wasn't sure about. And now I own a lot of these things, and, well, I have first-hand knowledge. In my last particular video, there was a lot of me talking about a lot of crap before I ever even got into actually ranking the stuff. And, well, you're welcome to go watch that if you want to learn about who the hell I am and what does it matter what my opinion is. But in this particular video, I'm going to try to just cut straight to the chase and get straight into the nitty-gritty of the ranking. Now, be it known, Sims 4 is a game that I believe can appeal to just about anyone of any personality type, providing you fill the game with enough mods. So there's lots of content that exterior groups have added into this game that make this game pretty darn good. The game by itself is pretty average. So I guess we'll start with ranking the base game. Is, I think pretty much anyone can attest to this. Sims 4 by itself, without any DLCs, without any mods, is pretty bland. It's pretty average. One would say it's probably worse than its predecessors. But there, we got that out of the way. Then we have this other oddball here, which is basically a free DLC. It was free stuff that was given to you, and because it was free, I'm gonna say that it's excellent, because it's always nice to get free stuff. However, nothing in the pack is truly amazing, and I don't want it to clog up the legendary and epic tiers. I think it's excellent because it's free. So free should shoot it up the list somewhat, shall we? Now, where to go from here? I think we should probably talk about the newest elephant in the room. Possibly why you're coming here to watch this video is the most recent trash that the Sims developers have attempted to shove down our throats, and that's kits. Straight up, this particular kit, the Dust Bunny kit, is the most broken thing I've ever seen. Let's just say that it's so filled with problems that it's just a problem. There's nothing balanced about it. It's half baked. It's just insanity, and it makes me say to myself, "What idiot thought this up?" So yeah, that's exactly where it's gonna go. What idiot thought this up? Maybe in the future, with some balancing changes to it, it could escape this category. Because let's say that the fact that your really dirty and dusty house makes you a rich person is just insanely stupid. The fact that your insanely messy floors give you an inspiration buff is bizarre. At the same time, the base game sees your house as being clean. And so, yeah, it's all broken. Everything about this kit is completely and utterly broken. This country kitchen one is kind of meh. It is what it is. It's nothing great. And what is this one called? Give me one. I don't remember the name of it. It's the other one that's not the dust one, and it's not the country kitchen one. This one is, well, regret buying. The kits in general I kind of regret buying. This one is, I don't horribly regret it because it's nice enough kitchen items that you can build with it. And this one's just flat broken. It's completely unbalanced and doesn't make any fucking sense. All right, so that gets those out of the way. I suppose we will jump into the blue ones. Okay, so the blue ones are not as big as the light blue ones. The light blue ones are your $40 packs. The light blue ones are the ones that generally come with worlds and major game-changing concepts, etc., etc. That's not to say that the blue ones, some of them do come with worlds, right? But by and large, the blue ones are generally less expansive than the light blue ones. With that being said, let's start at the very end, and we'll go with the simple one, the Star Wars one. I don't know what idiot thought that Sims 4 somehow mixed with Star Wars, but they don't. And I'm a Star Wars freak. I love Star Wars, but it has no place in the Sims 4 universe. It's just insanity that somebody thought this would be a good idea. With that being said, let's go into the Harry Potter-esque one. I completely regret buying that one. It's bad. It doesn't have much saving grace to it at all. It feels like a DLC that's completely around cheating. And if you want to cheat, well, just use MCC Command Center. It's far simpler. Download the mod, use MCC. You don't need to waste money on that Harry Potter-esque cheating DLC. It's pretty lame. And speaking of lame, Strangerville is, well, just as lame. Definitely goes in the regret buying. There's not much to say good about Strangerville. It's utter garbage. And so right now you're thinking, do you like anything about The Sims? And yes, I do. We're getting there. But I'm gonna call the crap. It's really that simple. This is the geology one where you go pretend to be Indiana Jones, if you say. I don't know. It's kind of neat. It's average content. It's above meh. It's cute-ish. It's a change of pace. So yeah, average content. I don't like this type of gameplay. I'm not a big family-oriented gameplay person. I like to play one sim and one sim only, and families are just too much micro. It's not to say I don't ever play families. I do from time to time. So with that being said, yeah, let's put it up into average content. It's not horrible. Fine dining is kind of broken. Doesn't really enhance much as far as a business. It's okay to, I guess, put a restaurant somewhere and go there on, like, say, a date. That might be its saving grace. Excuse me, sorry about that. So, Dine Out, I'll put in meh. For the life of me, I'm staring at one of these icons, and I can't think of what it stands for. Spa Day. That's what that icon is. It's Spa Day. Okay, so Spa Day is basically meh for me. I don't care one way or another. I don't regret it, and it doesn't really enhance my gameplay much, if at all. However, I love the camping. I love the tents. I love everything that comes with the outdoor retreat pack. I love that pack. That's my second favorite pack. And then, if you know anything about me, if you know the last time I did this, I could not say enough great things about Vampire. Vampire is the legendary DLC of the whole works. It is the best DLC, hands down, that you can get inside of the Sims 4 universe. It's just really, really, really good, and really adds to the game and makes it and enhances the game with enjoyable, balanced gameplay that isn't overpowered. I can't say enough good things about Vampire. Vampire is just awesome. All right, and now that leaves us into the world of the expensive packs, the $40 packs, the ones that are as expensive as most base games are, and just how good are they? Well, let's start with Cats and Dogs. Cats and Dogs is kind of meh. They're cute, but that's about it. They're cute and they pull at your heartstrings for a quick playthrough, and after that you can't be bothered to mess with the cats and dogs because they end up becoming more of a nuisance and or a hassle than they're worth. You know, that one-time playthrough with them, they were cute, and that's about it. So yeah, starting off with cats and dogs being cute. A couple of these I certainly regret buying. Let's go with the first one that I completely regret buying, and that is the winter retreat one. So there are some good things to say about this pack in that the world itself was well built. There's certainly some very nice looking houses and homes that were built, and from what I understand, they were built by actual community members, and you can tell that a lot more care went into building the world, which is a Japanese themed inspired world, but the primary meat and potatoes of the pack, being the rock climbing and the skiing and the snowboarding, is really, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it was done very well. It feels like it was kind of shoehorned in, and I was really expecting something more, and I was very sadly disappointed. Those types of activities at face value sounded really cool, but at implementation they were poorly implemented. Let's just put it that way. This pack, I regret buying this one. It just screams in my mind that I really regretted this one. Part of the reason I regretted this one is because I had the choice to get this one instead, which is a similar-ish type pack, right? But it has some upside to it. It has enough upside that I'm going to put it up here in the average category. And the upsides to the island Sulani, the world of Sulani, is that it's got really good fishing. And fishing for me is kind of a very important part of my gameplay. There's fish traps, there's a boat you can stand on that you can fish off of. It really enhances the fishing gameplay. It's a beautiful world. All in all, it's pretty good. Is it amazing? No, but it enhances fishing, and for that, and it's a pretty world, and for those reasons, I put it up at average. And I wished I would have gotten that one instead of getting this one. This one was garbage. This one was pretty good. I made a choice between the two of those. I pulled the trigger on that one, and then found out later on that this one was far better for me. But that's kind of the way a lot of these things go, and it's part of the reason that we make these lists, is to try to give you some idea of what you might be getting yourself into. Of course, many different people value many different things in their games. Some people are all about raising families. Some people are about growing crops and fishing, which would probably be more along my ideas. So I like to grow crops, I like to fish, I like to grow marijuana and push drugs through the base mental mod on my get famous Hollywood stars. I like to get them addicted to drugs. So with that being said, that makes a good segue over to Get Famous. Get Famous I don't think is... Do I want to put it in above average? Maybe. So the main meat and potatoes of it, which is getting famous, it is what it is. Sometimes, like maybe 1 out of every 10 sims I create, I might get an inkling to maybe I want to get famous with this sim. But by and large, I'm not a huge fan of the Get Famous mechanics. However, I think the Get Famous mechanics are pretty well done. But mainly what I really like about it is just the fact that these, just having these famous sims in my world that I can mess with. So from that aspect, I like Get Famous just so that I can mess with famous sims. It gives me a target, I suppose. Okay, so that being said, how about another one of these that I regret buying? There's very little positive things I can say about Eco Lifestyle. The Let's Steal Your Stuff DLC. The world is pretty awful. It's got dumpsters. Dumpsters is maybe the one saving grace of the whole thing, but dumpsters is not enough for me to not regret buying that DLC. Pretty lackluster. Not my cup of tea at all. But yeah, you can dumpster dive for furniture, for instance, which is cool. But is that enough to make that DLC worth buying? No, I don't think it is. Which is going to be funny, because I'm going to tell you that City Living is excellent because of one reason: karaoke. I love to karaoke. I love going to the karaoke bars in City Living. I'm not a fan of City Living itself. I'm not a fan of the festivals. I'm not a fan of actually living in any of the apartments. But I don't mind visiting the clubs to go sing some karaoke. And also the park. The park in San Myshuno is probably my favorite place to get my Sims married. It's really a nice place to to take your Sims on a date. It's one of my favorite date destinations, and double that with the karaoke, and this is a particular instrumental part of most of my games. Having San Myshuno around to travel to for particular reasons is important to my playstyle. Alright, so now what should we jump into? So this is Discovery University. So we'll go with that one next as I ponder what the other symbols are. I know season. I know what seasons is. Discovery University is nice gameplay the first time through, and after that it's a chore. For that reason, Discovery University to me is kind of on the meh side. It's not really my cup of tea. It was good once, and that's about it. I don't regret buying it, but I don't really see myself ever going back to university. It was an interesting playthrough the first time, and I rarely ever have any desire to go back. So that is Discovery University. Seasons. How do I feel about seasons? I don't feel as strongly as most people feel about seasons. I'm gonna put it, I don't know, in the above average category. Most people treat this DLC like it's the second coming of Christ. It's the next best thing since the wheel. Most of the Sims community believes that this is like the greatest DLC of all time. I just don't feel that way. I could care less about fake Thanksgiving and fake Christmas and fake New Year's and the infinite number of holidays that you can delete and or create. Just doesn't do anything for me. That on top of the weather systems, I find the weather systems to be annoying. I don't like the fact that my sim, when he's wet, can't figure out how to dig a rock. It certainly adds difficulty to the game, and that's the part about it that I respect. So I like the fact that it adds an inherent level of difficulty, especially if you're playing like a rags to riches type playthrough. But for most of the reasons people love this DLC, it just kind of annoys me. It's okay. It's above average. I'm not gonna say it's a meh DLC. I certainly see where it's valuable for creating difficulty in the world, but yeah, it's not the next coming of Jesus Christ, that's for sure. So that leaves us with Get to Work. That's what this one is. Get to work. Average. So Get to Work is what it is. It allows you to go do an active job. The active jobs are meh. They're all right. They're not great. They're not horrible. I mean, they're better than not having an active job. Get to Work is pretty much, yeah. It's that. It's there. That reason. And that leaves clubs. So this DLC is going to go way up to the epic list for unusual reasons. Let's say that the last time I made this ranking, I did push this DLC high up on my chart because I love Windenburg. Windenburg, hands down, is the best map of them all. And so for that reason, this one went high up my chart. Though the last time I did this, I did not appreciate clubs as much as I have come to appreciate clubs. Let's just say I've found ways to use clubs more uniquely with the help of some interesting mods. So while I find most of the already pre-built clubs to be pretty lame, and while I find most of the clubs themselves to be pretty lame, thanks to some interesting mods, there are a few ways to save the club system to actually make it pretty interesting. So that, coupled with the fact that it's got just singularly the best play world in the game, bar none, that's what propels it up the category into the epic list. Okay, so this is basically my Sims 4 DLC ranking chart. What you need to understand about me is that I'm a male, for one. I'm not a female, so I'm gonna have slightly different priorities in my gameplay. Hunting and fishing. There's no hunting really. There's collecting. So collecting stuff is kind of like hunting. It's like treasure hunting. So I like to collect. I like to fish. I like to farm. Especially like to grow pot using the mod, the base mental mod. And yeah, I love to get my my famous Hollywood stars in the game strung out on and get them addicted to drugs. But anyway, I enjoy going to the gym, working out, outdoor activities, pretty much anything that doesn't revolve around the classical raising a family type gameplay that a lot of the female sim players are going to be more inclined to do. So just from that standpoint, I'm going to have a different focus on how I look at these things and how they fall in the rankings. That, and I'm kind of a, I don't know, a conservative guy. I'm not. I'm older. You know, I'm not a young man. Let's put it that way. And so, let's say I just look at some of this stuff in more of a masculine way, and Sims 4 isn't necessarily a very masculine game. It's not that it's not a masculine game, it's that it's definitely geared more towards the feminine. But there's still things you can do to make Sims 4 an enjoyable game. So yeah, with that being said, there's lots of these rankings out there, and everyone has a different opinion. Why am I sharing my opinion? Because maybe you're a guy's guy, and maybe you've watched all of these videos and you're just like, you just don't get the feeling that they're speaking your language, right? That you're gonna 100% line up with with some of these other YouTubers who are mainly female. They're probably going to have different priorities. So there is a couple of other guys in the Sims 4 community, Jaames in particular, who's done this. He's a younger guy than I am, and he lives and dies Sims 4 a little bit more than I do. Well, probably a lot more than I do anyway. But, you know, Sims 4 is just another game in my catalog, if you will. It's not something I specialize in. But yeah, I thought I'd do this video one more time because now I have a lot of these packs that I didn't have before the last time I did it. And I have a lot more first-hand knowledge about how I feel about them. So with that being said, that's it. That's my ranking in a nutshell. If you appreciate it, please smash that like button. And until the next time, all, peace.